Yo, what up? This is Flan and and my boy Lance with the More Dudes podcast. This is going to be our first experimental sports podcast. We're just going to...
Little quick hitter.
Yeah, we're just going to spitball some shit real quick, 15 minutes, and usually be topical, but to try it out, we're both Longhorns fans, so we're just going to talk about Longhorn football. We're going to talk about...
Specifically, we're going to talk about running backs from Texas.
Yeah.
And my first question to you was, what are your top 5 Texas running backs of all time?
Well, see, you'd have to rank, like, what makes them the most successful running back? Are we talking, like, pure statistical?
Just all around, dog.
Because some guys won championships, some guys won Heismans.
Some just had
Ricky Williams. Okay, I'm going to put Ricky Williams at the top.
He's number 1.
That's no said.
I would have said he's number 1. Okay.
Yeah, no doubt.
Number 2.
Are we saying running backs in general or just rushers?
No, running backs.
Okay.
No Vince Young, because obviously he's the Lord and Savior of our Longhorn program.
I don't know. He is.
If he wasn't so retarded.
He is, but Ricky is just right. Ricky's up there, dude.
Yeah, dude, no one brought us a title other than those ones in the 60s.
That's true. Cole McCoy, too, though. He at least got us there.
He got us there.
He would have won if it wasn't for...
Son of a bitch. That guy from our high school even fucked him up, too.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Bullshit.
He fucked him up. That's the only thing that made it okay.
It's like, I played basketball with that guy.
Smithson Valley and alumni taking him out. Makes it all right.
All right, anyway, so we got him.
And
who else?
Number 2, I would say Jamaal Charles, but he's not going to be the best statistically, but I think he's the best.
Well, he's kind of weird. He split time with Selvin Young.
I bet he's got super high average.
His freshman year, he split time with Selvin Young during the championship year.
Yeah.
He had some big games, like the one against Oklahoma where he had that one run for like 90 yards, some shit. He's very good. So we'll put him in the top 5. And then who else you got? What's next?
Well, if he's my number 2, then Earl Campbell's my number 3.
Earl Campbell's number 3. I'll agree with those 3. Maybe not in that order, but...
And number 4, I would say...
This is where it gets kind of hairy.
I would say Cedric Benson, because he was he's probably the next most productive Longhorn rusher.
And you can even go outside of, like, if you're counting kind of like NFL career too, like how they did after.
Yeah, he had to go to NFL career.
He had a decent NFL career.
That's one reason why Jamaal Charles, I put him so high too, is because he's one of the best rushers.
He had a really good...
and he's got the...
If he wouldn't have got hurt a couple times, he might have gone to the Hall of Fame, maybe. Who knows?
Well, yeah, and he's got the record for... Doesn't he have the record for yards per
I think he's
carry?
up there.
If he's not number 1, he's number 2.
He's very close, close.
And
because that's a weird stat, yards per carry, because you got, like, Michael Vick, who has, like, 10 yards a carry.
Well, I think he might be one of the fastest running backs of all time.
Oh, yeah. He could have made the Olympics.
Pure dead sprint speed. Yeah, he's one of the best athletes. And you know what? Okay, well, remind me to get back to that Jamaal Charles era.
Okay.
And I'll do that later. But right now I'm going to say Cedric Benson's my number 4, right?
Benson's very good. He's number 2 all time at Texas.
Yeah, and in the NCAA he even has pretty high career.
He's 5,000 yards, so he's pretty good.
Yeah, so I was going to say in all-time career he's pretty high.
He's pretty high up there. So this is where
he's got a lot of touchdowns. He had good seasons.
The Texas was good those years
4?
too. They were good. They weren't great, but they were good teams.
Yeah. Top 4 all time?
Yeah.
And then number 5?
5.
Oof. 5.
5 is where...
5, I would say Foreman. Just because of the year
Foreman,
he had
this year.
Yeah.
He has a total of 2,782 yards of rushing. He's the last... But the thing is, he is the last 1,000-yard rusher since Jamaal Charles. So probably 10 years we haven't had a 1,000-yard rusher at Texas.
Yeah, and I would say the line, like the team he's playing behind, that offense is so, like...
In shambles if he doesn't play.
Well, not in shambles. I'm just saying they're young and inexperienced.
True.
I mean, and they're, you know...
This is the first year he actually gets to play.
They've been,
like, the entire game.
Yeah, they've been through quarterback after quarterback.
So I was going to ask you, does he qualify as a top 5? Because you got some other guys like...
All right, well, this is my thing. Like, I'm going to say top 5 potential, like, all time. Like, here's my Texas rejects list. Number 1 is that guy that played behind
You can never think of that guy's name. The guy who played on the 05 team, but he had, like, 5 different positions.
All right, well, you look him up while I'll say my next ones. He's my number 1. Potential, like, NFL, he's just as good as Jamaal Charles. He was better than Jamaal Charles, I remember.
he was just crazy. He did everything.
Yeah, he was freak. He was Ezekiel, the equivalent of Ezekiel or Braxton Miller. He was just a freak. He
did everything. He
full blown athlete. He could do anything.
Retarded.
He could throw the ball, whatever the fuck they had him to do. And then they had that guy. Who's the guy that got kicked off when Mac Brown came that broke he smoked New Mexico State, but he was a stud.
Bergeron?
No, Bergeron's another guy. Malcolm Brown and Jonathan Gray. All three of those guys, who knows?
Jonathan Gray not wasted, but how would you say it? A guy who could have been one of the greats, but if he never really got hurt, because he got hurt that one time and just he couldn't do it. He couldn't come back.
He couldn't stay healthy. He got hit a lot. He probably got hit behind the line.
That guy, best high school running back of all time.
In Texas.
No,
yeah.
in history. Like, I think he's like so far ahead of everyone in rushing.
Well, I mean, this is one thing I'm going to say as a just play devil's advocate. I'm going to say that was 4A Texas football. Now, I know
He might have been lower. He might have been like 3A.
No, I think it was 4A. He went to Alito, and I'm pretty sure they're 4A. That shit doesn't that kind of like you put him on a 5A team, he's not putting up those stats. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
So I mean that taking into consideration.
Like obviously he had great stats in high school, but it's like they were so good. Even if he played on a shittier team, you're like, okay, that's the guy's.
Yeah, he had the best like.
He was the highest running back in the nation when he was recruited to Texas. Yep. Anyways,
he was good, but I think one thing there's a couple things that he just didn't. I think he had really good vision.
Yes.
I think he had trouble his first couple years. He couldn't put on size mainly. He was real small when he got there.
And he wasn't the fastest guy on the field.
No, he's not.
He was very shifty. He could juke you out like a motherfucker, but he's not the fastest guy.
He's almost a guy you want to get...
He's not Charles in a deadline sprint.
No, he's a guy you want to get involved in a lot of screens, a lot of zone rushes, that kind of stuff.
I agree.
Where he can use his ability to find holes. He was really good at that. No, but he wasn't... And he had decent hands. He could catch the ball, and he didn't fumble. I mean, I remember he had a streak where like everyone was fumbling. Bergeron was fumbling.
Oh Jesus! Oh, you take this phone call or no?
No.
All right. Anyways, sorry about the interruption. But
Bergeron was fumbling. Everyone's fumbling.
All right, found that
Malcolm
guy.
Brown can hang on to the ball. Malcolm Brown's another guy you can put up there
from San Antonio.
Yeah, from San Antonio.
He's 10th all time in rushing. Like. He's up there, like
he was splitting carries and all kinds of bullshit too.
Terrible teams, like
yeah,
they knew they were gonna rush it. So
yeah.
Anyways, I found the guy from the 05 Texas team that was so good in everything he did. Pretty much, he could play at every position. Ramont's Taylor.
Yeah, this motherfucker. He
got kicked
down.
off the team because he was robbing. He went and robbed a convenience store or something with his friends just for fun, and he would have been like a fucking 3rd round pick easily if he would have stayed. Like out of trouble.
I remember I think he was a true freshman. And
yeah,
Jamaal Charles was either
he was a sophomore. He was a sophomore. It says here on this on the 05 team. Okay, but still, he was super young.
So Jamaal Charles was a junior then, I guess.
Jamaal Charles that year?
Yeah.
The championship year, he was a freshman.
Oh, he was. My bad.
Selvin Young was a senior, and then was the other guy.
All I remember is this kid was fucking stud.
Lightning quick, fast. Dude, the guy was a gangster. Legit.
Yeah, and
literally a gangster.
Literally a gangster. Yeah.
Hey, let's get back to
our
Foreman.
glory days of recruiting.
Yeah, we actually got everyone good. Let's get back to Foreman, because Foreman, I would probably put him in there. There's some other guys, like this guy, Roosevelt Leaks, who apparently he is like 3,000 yards rushing 3 years back in the 70s, before Campbell, like way before Campbell. And he almost won the Heisman 1 year and stuff. But he's always in there. So it's him and Foreman.
Yeah.
The thing about Foreman's the only 2,000-yard rusher to never get invited to the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah, well, that
ceremony.
He was probably on the worst team. He's probably the worst 2,000. Like that's probably the worst.
The worst
record,
team with the best.
Yeah, with a 2,000-yard rusher.
What's the thing with this? He had 2,000 yards rushing, right? Like just barely over, right? I think. He has a total of 2,782 yards rushing.
What the fuck that team finished though? Like 5-5 or some shit.
5-7.
5-7. Jesus.
It's so bad for a team that should be half decent. Well, at least we have a new coach now.
I stopped watching after like I don't even know.
Like 5 games.
I watched
the game.
Like Iowa State.
We got so fucking pumped about fucking Notre Dame win.
Oh yeah.
We were in here cheering by ourselves.
Well, it was crazy because I'm also a Notre Dame fan.
Yeah.
which was also hard. So this whole college football season, I just got blacked out around because I didn't watch any college football. But because Notre Dame looked like, I mean, they were what 7th or something at the beginning of the year, 5th. They were ranked
4th or something like that.
Yeah, they ranked high. And first off, preseason rankings are bullshit, and they need to get the fuck.
Oh, that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother
If they
day.
don't start ranking teams week 8, I swear to God, I'm gonna start flipping tables. What the fuck is a preseason?
Well, they technically
ranking?
do that now. They have the whatever.
Yeah,
the
but the
playoff
preseason rankings are shit. That's what makes some of these teams look so good. Because
well, we thought Texas was top 10.
yeah, exactly.
We're gonna go to the playoffs.
Exactly. So I don't know. Go on though.
I don't know. Just what I'm saying. Like
Priest Holmes too.
Priest Holmes, dude. That was my person. I was like Priest Holmes. Never. I was going to tell you this, but we were going to save it for the podcast. He never got to play after his freshman year because he got hurt. And that year, Ricky Williams took over the carries. And then he had a dominant freshman year, like pretty fucking good. Not like some of the other freshmen, but he had a really good freshman year. And Priest was a junior. Or
Another
something like
San Antonio guy.
Priest Holmes, yeah. So he was hurt, and then he just never got it back. He never got to take the ball back from Ricky. They were like, no, Ricky's too good, obviously.
Yeah.
Probably the best college running back of all time. Like,
arguably the best NFL running back of all time for the career he had in the NFL.
For how short it was and how good it was.
Yeah, between him...
And how many fucking carries they made him carry the ball.
Oh, unprecedented.
He was carrying the ball like 40 times a game.
Some shit.
For the fucking Dolphins. I don't know how he survived.
Yeah. Now, the stats Elliott's getting to are insane. But I think a lot of that's because that's like one of the best offensive lines.
Yeah, if Ricky Williams was behind this line, like...
If anyone,
joke.
Yeah.
You can put a lot of people behind this line.
That's part of why that entire... I mean...
as an Eagles fan...
Yeah, no, we're straying.
Let's swap running backs and see what happens. Like, obviously, Ezekiel Elliott's probably better than Ryan Matthews, but...
Yeah. Ryan Matthews would be dominating.
He'd be killing it. He'd be like top 10 rusher, like, at least.
Don't get me wrong, the kid's a stud, too. Freak athlete.
Oh, he's good.
But
all right, we're at 12 minutes. I think that was a good little starter.
I like that.
We were going a little off topic.
Yeah, we already started to stray. We started to stray in the...
All right, well, we'll probably be back. We're going to do... Every time we see a cool little event that happens in sports that we watch.
Yeah, especially if one of our teams are involved.
I was probably going to talk about the 60-point game by Clay. It's a little late now.
Oh, yeah.
But the Foreman one's a little late, too. Like we should have talked about it before.
That's true.
Got kicked out of the Heisman.
But yeah, go on. Let's hear it.
Anyways, we're going to talk about the Clay Thompson some other time.
We can just talk about it now.
Nah, we'll do another one.
Another one?
All right.
Another one it is.
See you later. Come back. More dudes. We don't even know what we're going to call this yet. More sports. Something. I don't know what the fuck we call it, but see you next time.